this is actually the best way to solve any quadratic equation. So any quadratic equation can be solved using the quadratic formula. To use a quadratic formula, you need to have your quadratic in standard form. Once it's in standard form, then you can figure out which term is A, which term is B, and which term is C. So A, B, C represents the coefficients of your quadratic equation. Once you've identified what those are, you can place them inside this formula. So you take negative of whatever your B is, and then you're adding or subtracting it to the square root of your B squared minus 4 times A times C. And all of that gets divided by 2A. Okay. So this generally results in two solutions. One solution because of the plus, one solution because of the minus, generally. A quadratic equation actually has 3 cases. You could either have 2 solutions, you may have 1 solution, or you may have no solutions. But all of those possibilities depend on the discriminant. This helps you determine the number of solutions and the types of solutions. And the discriminant is basically referring to the part that's right below the square root. So if your discriminant is greater than 0, you have 2 solutions. If your discriminant equals 0, you have 1 solution. And if your discriminant is less than 0, you have 2 complex solutions. Okay. So we're going to actually look at problems that have a bit of each case. Okay, so let's look at this example. Now, this is the example that we solved in, I believe, in the last lecture, using a different method. However, with the AC method. However, we're going to go over that right after this. Let's first try solving this using the quadratic formula. Now, the equation, okay, we have 8x squared plus 2x plus 1. So it's already in standard form. So again, the standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So based off of that, what do I have? That means my a is 8, my b is 2, my c is -1. Okay, so keep track of the signs. So if I want to use the quadratic formula, I'm going to start off by writing it out. -b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Now, you have to have the quadratic formula memorized in order to use it during exams and quizzes that are proctored. So if you don't have it memorized at the moment, make sure you take the time to memorize it. All right. Now, we just place our numbers in the correct place. So we have negative of our b. Our b is 2. Plus minus b squared 4 times 8 times -1. All of this divided by 2 times a, which is 8. All right. Now let's simplify it as much as we can. So the negative times the 2 is just -2. Okay. Inside the square root, I write this part over here. It's 2 squared, which is 4, minus, we have 4 times 8 times negative. Oh, sorry. So we have 4 times 8 times -1. So 4 times 8 is 32, but then it's -32. inside the square root. So we get 36. And then down here, we have 2 times 8, which is 16. Okay. Nice thing is 36 is a perfect square. So I can now reduce this to 2 plus minus 6 divided by 16. And this splits into two possible answers. We have negative 2 plus 6 divided by 16. Negative 2 minus 6 divided by 16. Okay. Negative 2 plus 6 is 4. 4 divided by 16 is 1 over 4. Negative 6 minus 6 is negative 8 divided by 16. That's negative 1 over 2. So the solution set here is 1 over 4 and negative 1 over 2. These are the two possibilities of possible values of x that would satisfy this equation.